Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the final lesson in our unit, the project and the self-reflection. This is today's objectives. At the end of the session, you will be able to make presentation on things to do on the internet and reflect upon the current unit. Before we do that, let's take some exercises from the workbook just to refresh your memory about this unit. Complete the chart, fill in the adjective, the comparative adjective, or the superlative adjective. So you choose the adjective or the comparative form of the adjective or the superlative form of the adjective. So this is the chart here. You see the first column, the adjective, the second column, the comparative adjective, the third column is the superlative adjective. I'm going to answer some of these and I want you to continue them yourselves. You continue the rest. The first one is expensive, the adjective. How do we write the comparative and the superlative form? Very good. The comparative, you say more or less expensive because it's 3 syllables, remember. And the superlative form is very good, the most or the least expensive. What about more or less difficult? How do we write the adjective itself? Very good, the same, difficult. And the superlative form is the most or the least difficult. And here the superlative is the easiest. So what's the comparative and the adjective form? Very good. You say easy, the easiest. And what about the comparative form? It's easier. The next adjective is successful. The comparative and the superlative forms are very good. More or less successful, or the most or the least successful. What about the most or the least useful? Very good. You say useful or more or less useful. What about relaxing? Yes, you say more or less relaxing. And the superlative form is the most or the least relaxing. And wealthy. What about the adjective wealthy? Yes, you say wealthier than, of course. And the superlative form is the wealthiest. What's the meaning of wealthy? Yes, that is very rich. And you can continue the whole chart by yourself. Of course, I finished it here, but I want you to continue to do it by yourself. So let's jump to the other exercise here. Complete the sentences with comparative and superlative forms of the adjective in the parenthesis. Use the before superlative. So remember, when you choose to write the superlative form, remember to write the. The first one, old, the adjective here is old. Known computer in the Antarctica mechanism is one of. So what do we write here, the first one? Very good, the oldest known computer. It is one of, and the adjective is significant. Finds from over 20,000 years ago. You have to continue the sentence because you want to know, is he comparing just 2 things or is he using the superlative form and comparing it with the other group? Again, it is one of the, and the adjective is significant, finds from over 20,000 years ago. Very good. The most significant finds from over 20,000 years, because he's not comparing just 2 computers here. It was a massive device for making mathematical calculations, which was made of bronze and wood. This was heavy than today's electronic calculators. Yes, heavier, because he's comparing it with the calculators now than today's electronic calculators. So, of course, it was, and the adjective is difficult to carry. Yes, more difficult. Again, because it's comparing 2 things. Very good. The second one, one of the successful novels of all time is one of the what? all time. Yes, one of the most successful novels of all time is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It sold over 200 million copies. That's an even big success than Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. So he's comparing two novels now. Yes, bigger, that's even bigger success than Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. Dickens' childhood was not any very good, easier than the lives of his characters, but he moved on to become one of the novelists of all time. Yes, that's very easy. The best novelist of all time. The third one, many of the people, very good, the wealthiest people made their money in the computer industry. Bill Gates, who became famous for starting Microsoft, is than any king or queen in the world. Yes, is richer than any king or queen in the world. He also seems to be one of the very good, the most generous people, as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has donated $30 billion to some of poor nations. Yes, to some of the poorest nations. Here's another exercise. Answer these questions. Give your opinion with some reasons. Use comparatives and superlatives. The first one, what is the most useful gadget that you own? Use comparative or superlative. The most useful gadget. Of course, for me, the most useful gadget I own is my smartphone. The most useful, this is of course superlative, among all other gadgets. The most useful gadget I own is my smartphone. You can say your laptop, your computer. This is your own opinion. Number two, how easy is it to keep up with the latest development in technology? Again, this is my opinion. It is easy using social media. Again, the question, how easy is it? He's asking how easy is it to keep up with the latest development in technology using social media. Social media is the easiest way to keep up with many news around the world. Number three, what is the easiest way to learn a foreign language? Again, this is your own opinion. I said here the easiest way to learn a foreign language is to practice every day. Number four, which is the best means of communication? The best means of communication, again, your opinion. Email, texting, letter writing, or face-to-face discussion. For me, the best means of communication is texting, because you can do it instantly. No matter where you are or where he is, your friend, you can text him. Other exercise here, complete the second sentence so that it has the same meaning as the first. Of course, I'm going to answer just two or three of these, and I want you to continue answering them yourself. The first one, our car is serviced by a mechanic twice a year. Our car is serviced by a mechanic twice a year. So we say we get. Very good. Our car serviced twice a year. Or you can say, excellent, you can say we have, or we get, or we have. Our car serviced twice a year. Of course, this is passive. Someone needs to check the brakes on my bicycle. Someone needs to check the brakes on my bicycle. You say here, my bicycle brakes need. Very good. My bicycle brakes need to be checked. Need to be checked. Number three, the new company website needed to be designed. The new company website needed to be designed. So the company had, same as before, very good. The company had the new website designed. Number four, this program needed to be downloaded before I could play the game. This program needed to be downloaded before I could play the game. So you say, I got or I had Yes, very good. I got this program downloaded before I could play the game. I got this program downloaded before I could play the game. And you continue answering all of these by yourself. Here's another exercise. Complete the phone conversation. Use the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. Again, I'm going to answer some of these, and I want you to continue answer them yourselves. Umar and Tony. Umar, Instant Tech Service. How can I help you? Of course, this is a phone conversation. It's my new computer. I think it's break. Yes, it's broken. It's an adjective here. It's still under warranty, but I think I'll have to it. So we have to here, get and replaced. Very good. Get it replaced. Umar said, what exactly is the problem? Tony, everything. Actually, it won't switch on at all. The screen is completely blank. Maybe you've sold me a damaged computer. How can we turn damage into an adjective? Yes, he said damaged computer. And you can continue answering all of these by yourselves, even these. Continue answering them, but focus on how to turn a verb into an adjective. Some of these are the same as the past participle. So continue using the past participle as an adjective. So let's jump to today's lesson, the project. The project, I want you to prepare a presentation for your class on things to do on the internet. I want you to prepare a presentation. Have you ever done a presentation before? Okay, I want you to prepare a presentation for your class about what? On things to do on the internet. Working groups discuss things that you do on the internet. Use the list below to help you and add your own ideas. So this list, this chart, have ideas. It will help you on your presentation. In groups, work in groups. Remember, groups use brainstorming here to come up with ideas. The first here, interactive games, competition, problem solving, role-playing games, e-shopping, social networks, blogs, videos, news, information, education, and download programs. So what do you do on the internet from these? For example, I gave you my own doings. Interactive games. Sometimes I play games on the internet. E-shopping. I shop online. Of course, we all do. Social networks. Again, we all use social networks. Education. Just as now, we're using this online video for education. And you can add, of course, your own ideas. You can add your own ideas. Also, we use internet, of course, to download programs on our laptops or on our phones. The second part here, how do you use the following? How do you use the following? What are some of the advantages and disadvantages? Add your own ideas to the list. So, trying to tell the advantages and the disadvantages of anything is a hard task, because some people will see it an advantage, some people will see it a disadvantage. Of course, this is according to your own point of view. Social networks, how do you use them? Are you always online? How do you use social networks? Is it to communicate with your friends? Is it to look up news always? Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? So I want you to fill this chart up. What about blogs? Blogs, where you write your personal information. Threads and discussions. Threads and discussions. How do you use them? What are the advantages and disadvantages of threads? Electronic articles, videos. How do you use videos? What are the advantages or disadvantages of the videos? Information and websites. Here are some questions I want you to answer. I want you to answer. How do you feel about the internet as a medium? How do you feel about the internet as a medium, about a thing that you use? How do you feel? Is the internet a good thing? Is it a good tool? Is it a bad tool? How reliable is it? How reliable is it? This is a good question. Would you recommend it as a reliable and valid source of information? Why or why not? When you debate with your friends, you always go on the internet trying to find some answers, looking for answers or information to try to give your opinion to your friend. Is this a legit way to find information? Is it a valid way to find information? Why or why not? The fourth question here, how does the internet contribute to learning? Is it effective? This is a very good question. How does the internet, again, contribute? What does the internet add to learning? How does the internet contribute to learning? Is it effective? Of course, you can write a whole article about this. How does the internet contribute to learning? It contributes a lot. There are, you can take certificates now. You can take a PhD through the internet. So, of course, it's contributing to learning. Is it effective? Is internet contributing to education? Is it effective? Of course, it is very effective, as we do now, and you're watching this video through the internet. So we can say that it's pretty much effective. Use your notes to prepare a PowerPoint presentation or a poster. Work in groups. This is about your presentation. Present in class. When you prepare a PowerPoint presentation, remember these 3 points. Focus on your audience. Or they say, know your audience. Focus on your audience. Think about what they would like to hear or find out about. The second one, focus on your content. Be selective. Use visuals and examples. Be selective. Always use visuals to keep them contacted to you. Focus on your slides. Plan what you're going to include on each slide. Focus on your slides. Plan what you're going to put in each slide. Now we move the self-reflection, where you evaluate the unit and yourself and your understanding to this unit. The things you like about the unit, the things you don't like, the things you find easy, and the things you find difficult in this unit. You have to write them to give yourself a feedback later. And look at this checklist. Here we have the columns. I can do this very well. I can do this quite well. I need to study or practice more. So you can tell yourself whether it's an easy task or a little bit hard task or a very hard task. For example, here, ask for clarification and confirm. Do you do this very well, quite well, or do you need to study more? Discuss using technology for communication. Talk about personality and characteristics. Use the auxiliary verbs, do, have, and be. The auxiliary verbs, listen, do you think you can do this very well, or you can do this quite well, or you need to study more? So you have to evaluate your understanding to the whole unit. Use the comparative and superlative. The comparative or superlative lesson. Do you understand it, or do you need more practice? Again, you have to evaluate yourself. The next part here, the self-reflection, my 5 favorite new words from Unit 1. This is a good way to learn vocabulary. You write 5 words or even more, 10, 20 words that you learned from this unit. If you're still not sure about something on Unit 1, here are some pointers to you. Read through the unit again, listen to the audio material, study the grammar and functions from the unit again. Ask your teacher for help. If all the doors are closed, always go to your teacher, and of course, he will help you. And with that, we reach to the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for listening. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.